What's good? What's good? What is good? So, today I turned 25. People say it's a milestone. It is. It is half of 50. Um, what does it mean for me to turn 25? Really, it feels like another day. No offense, God. Got up, went to work, been in meetings. Living an adult life, living a dream. Um, but honestly, I felt like I was 25 when I was 15 because I grew up quick. I had to mature like that and take on many responsibilities at a young age. But what it means to me, you know, I look at my life and I still see room for improvement. Just this past weekend, I had several people tell me, you know, express their thoughts of me and what they think about me and what they feel I should change. And before I would feel some type of way, get offended because like, don't tell me nothing about me. I got me. But at the end of the day, I have to realize that I'm human. And other people are human as well, and other people have feelings. And I just it bothered me all week. That's how I know. Well, not all week, but the weekend and going into the week. It bothered me, and that's how I knew that I'm growing up because I'm taking into account other people's feelings and emotions. And when you're young, you don't really care. I'm still young, but when you are still, an adolescent or mature, or whatever the case may be, you don't really pay attention to other people's feelings. And you know, going into new age and getting older is just like I don't want to affect someone by the things that I say or the things that I do. If anything, I just want you to understand me and how I operate, or my feelings. Um, I know I make it hard for some people to understand those, but you know, 25 and just growing period. I know it's some things that I have to change. I know it's a lot of things that I'm not happy with about myself, and it's been, my mom passing made me, kind of shut down a little bit and kind of act out. But I'm coming back down to reality, and I'm realizing that I'm growing, and I'm accepting that, and I know that, you know, I encourage anyone young, you know, whatever it is you're trying to do in life, I encourage you to take risk. I encourage you to do it while you're young. Um, I encourage you to listen to that voice in your head, that is telling you to do it, telling you to take that chance because you never get another. I mean, opportunities always persist upon themselves, but it'll never be that same opportunity. So when you feel it, go for it. And, over the last 5 or so years of my life, I've experienced so many things, hardships, disappointment, pain, hurt, love, the loss of love, um, and doing me and following my heart. I don't regret it at all because it's something that you have to do to understand you and to be able to express yourself more with people. And it's hard to do. It's hard to take those chances. I will say that. Um, but I will say to just do it. Just do it. Because understanding of self is so important in growth and age because you can age all you want. You can get older. But what does it mean to get older if you still have that same mentality that you had when you was 15 or 16 or even 18? Damn, 21. Like, it's like you have to go through life open and willing to be let down and be whatever. Um, I hope this is making sense, but like I said, take those chances when you can and be selfish. There's always going to be a period of time where you go through and you have to be selfish because it'll be a lot of people wanting things from you and expecting things from you that you may not be able to offer at that given time. So I feel like me personally, I always go through selfish stages in my life because it's like I can't really focus on myself and what it is that I need if I'm constantly trying to satisfy you and fulfill your needs that I can't even give to you. And you may think that you're ready for to receive that from me, but really you may not even be. So I say all that to say is be selfish. I mean, accept those selfish periods that you go through, and don't feel bad for those because nobody's gonna have you like you have you. And I say this all the time. I feel like I do, but love is so important to understand and to feel and to cherish because it's something that circulates and it's something that is constantly moving and constantly growing. Um, and it's something that you should always understand and feel. Life is a feeling process. I believe that to be true. And you have to go through life feeling and accepting those feelings. You know, regardless of the scars, the bruises, being battered, you have to go through life, and you always have to just pick yourself back up and continue moving. Because at the end of the day, if you are down and out, and you know, just feeling helpless, what is that doing for you? Really, what is it doing for you? What is it doing for the next person, the people, the persons that in your life? Like, what is that doing for them? Especially if they look up to you and are inspired by you. Um, you just have to always keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it gracious. Um, it's okay to spaz out sometimes, um, especially if you're passionate about your feelings. And I don't know, but 25. I feel like this is going to be a good year. Um, Despite the loss of my mom, I feel like she is definitely with me, and I like to. I focus on the loss of her so much that I don't really pay attention to the gain. And it's like, you know what? I've gained so much knowledge and I've gained so much respect and understanding for things that matter: life, love, family, communication. Um, and my communication is still a little ruptured, but I'm trying to tame it. Um, but yeah, you just have to allow things to happen. You know, accept the process, um, and make sure you have people in your life who are willing to build you up, and even when you are down, they will bring themselves to your level in a way that it's not they're not judging you or making you feel like you should be here, especially if your mind is not there. If your mind is not in a certain place, but you have people in your life that are making you feel like pressuring you to feel like you should be this way, but you really feel in here. Like I said, be selfish. Understand yourself, understand the process until you are here. And make sure you have people in your life who are willing to align no matter the situation. Um, Good people, good energy is all that matters to me. Um, and I'm going to go back to um, anybody who may be struggling to follow their dreams or to make things happen. Um, I finished school. I was having problems in school. My 11th grade year, wasn't happy, was still trying to figure things out. Me and my mom had like a little rocky patch in our relationship. and I moved with my grandparents. Graduated high school there. You know, wanted to do the college thing and make my family proud. And you know, I didn't really think about it, and went to school and was so sheltered. You know, because I grew up at a young age, grew up and had so many responsibilities that I got to college and was surrounded by so many people and you know parties, and I didn't really focus on school. I wanted to, but you know when you have a combustion of things going on in your life that you're not used to, you can't really focus. So I allowed that to get the best of me, and you know I dropped out of school, and you know I was soul searching and went to Chicago with friends I made through social media. And visited for 2 weeks and fell in love with the city and was like, okay, I'm moving to Cali. And you know, my mom was like, no, that's too far. She was living in Alabama at the time, and she was like, I won't be able to drive to you and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. And you know, I was like, I tried to do the school thing again, um, but I really didn't go to school in Atlanta. I went and then found an apartment, student housing, you know, and I was planned on going to school. Got into student housing, that didn't work out, but I never left Atlanta, and I stayed and you know came across certain people who I thought were good for me. You know, I didn't really have that knowledge of different personality. I did kind of in school, but in that time, you know, people that I did hang around were focused on school. Most. So you know, you get to Atlanta away from. I have family in Atlanta, but I really didn't know them. So you know, I've always been chasing this thing by myself, chasing this dream, and trying to understand so many things by myself that I really didn't pay attention to the outside, and I really didn't allow people to come in. Um, I mean, I did, but it was people that was trying to sell me a dream and knew that I didn't know certain things and took advantage of that. And I stayed in Atlanta for about 2.5 years, and you know, it didn't work out for me. Didn't have relationships. I discovered, you know, my sexuality there, um, because not that I was easily influenced. I always had feelings about certain things, but I never acted on anything until I was in my 20s. Um, well, yeah. Um, and you know, that 2.5 years was trying. It was a struggle, and you know, failed relationships, failed friendships. You know, and being so prideful that I didn't want to go back home. And you know, my mom wanted me to go back home, and I regret it now because she needed me and I needed her. But I wanted to make this thing happen so bad that I was like, I'm gonna make you proud. I'm gonna make my family proud. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm not going back home, even though I should have went home because I was asking for money from my mom, grandparents, you know, and I just didn't want to go home because I was determined to make it happen. I was determined to find a way to sustain the lifestyle that I wanted. And that 2.5 years in Atlanta, it just didn't work out for me. You know, I almost lost my life twice, almost got murdered twice, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, got both times held up at gunpoint and robbed. The first time literally, I thought I was gonna die, but it was something in me. It was like I still have so much more greatness in me that God is not about to let me die. Um, you know, I was with two other people who were afraid and were crying, and me being me, I'm telling them to be quiet, shut up, you know, just to give them what they want, and they hit me in the head, telling me to be quiet because I'm talking, and I'm ended up with five staples in my head, and you know they took my wallet and was like asked for my pen, and I mean, you really think I'm gonna give you the right pen? Like you gonna go? If you let me go and you think I'm gonna give you the right pen, so you know, told me if I wasn't, if I, what did they tell me? If it's the wrong pen, I'm gonna come back and shoot you, bro. You think I'm about to wait for you to go take my money and put a pen in and try to come back and kill me? Nah, nigga, I'm out. So after that situation, stopped hanging with those people, and then you know I moved. Second time, it was a holiday. I lived in a college town. I lived in the area where Morehouse was, and it was a holiday. They knew that it was a college area. They knew that students with laptops and whatever would be in the neighborhood. I leave my house and people, two, three dudes camping out across the street. I'm talking to a friend at the time on the phone, and I see these dudes get out the car, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I slow down, still talking on the phone, so I pretend to tie my shoe to see if they was following me. They clever. They go ahead of me and continue to walk. I see the other dude cross the street, so I'm still walking. I'm not paying anything, paying any attention. I'm paying attention, but I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen. Broad daylight, come out with a gun to my face, take my shoes, the bag that I had, whatever. And it's certain situations like that where it's like I don't know what that person was thinking. I really could have died, but it's like I look at those situations. It's like it's something on my life. God really has His hand, His everything on me, and I was so ungrateful. I don't know how to even describe it to you, but I paid attention to it, but I really didn't like look. I really I have to turn my life around because it's something that God wants me to do in life, and I still feel that way. It's not done. You know, my biggest fear in life, I always said when people ask me, was losing my mom, and I didn't know what I was going to do and how life was going to go on, and I would die or I would kill myself or whatever. And I'm hurting. I'm hurting, but life has to go on because, like I said, who else is going to have me? I have family and friends, but at the end of the day, no one can do for me like I can do for me. Um, and I'm talking so much that I lost my train of thought, but you just have to let certain things. You have to pay attention to the signs from God, especially when He's allowing you to see firsthand that you are blessed. Pay attention to it. Um, and after that, I stayed in Atlanta for about a year and a half more. Moved to a better neighborhood, got a job, and I don't know. The people in my life still weren't up to par with what God wanted them to be, but I didn't pay attention to that because I was okay with being alone, but I needed people, and I wanted my family so bad. And although I had family, I don't know, I just, I don't know. I'm sure y'all know how it is, but you know, to speed it up, I always wanted to live in LA. Told my mom about it. She told me it was far. She was sad. I'm like, she barely gonna get to see me because it's so like the traveling and it's so expensive to get here. I moved. I moved to Atlanta just within like a 3 weeks time. Didn't know nobody. Packed up and moved like Atlanta. My lease was up and I was like, do I renew or do I go? One of my homies out here was like, you could just stay. I had never been to LA, never visited, nothing, and I just thought about it long and hard. And God has blessed me with so many talents. He blessed me with looks. He's blessed me with. I'm so humble. Blessed me with looks. He blessed me with a voice that most people say I'm so soft spoken, but He blessed me with a voice that I'm not currently not using it. I'm not utilizing, and it sucks because I will going into this new age of life. I'm gonna um, pay attention to this. I'm gonna project, um, and um, getting off topic, but um, within 2 weeks, sold some furniture. My mom was so upset because the furniture that I had, like living room stuff and dining room stuff, some of the dining room stuff, like some furniture basically, she had gave me. And my mom worked hard her whole life, and you know, worked hard and was very proud of the things that she owned. If it wasn't one thing she was proud of was her home and the things that was in it. So she was very upset by me giving some things away and selling some things, but you know, she always told me, "You're young, talented, follow your dreams. Like if you can live life, live it." So I packed up my apartment and I left. Um, with 5 boxes of clothes that I shipped and $500 in my bank account. No job, nothing really lined up but a place to stay that I was paying about $525 for like 3 4 months. Um, and within 2 weeks, I had my homie William Wright. He's known as Jay Smokey. Got me a job. Um, I didn't take care of that job because I got fired because of being not being on time. And you know what? It's funny. It's a funny thing with not being on time, you not being on time, but God always being on time when it comes to you. So it was certain situations like that where I would lose the opportunity, but another one would persist and like fall in my lap. Um, but I don't know. Now it'll be 3 years, July 9th, and it's just like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm happy with the process and how it's going and where it has the potential to go. So, with all that being said, anyone back home in Lorraine or wherever you are, and do something different. Change your mind, change your mindset, change the group of people that you hang with. Do think about your family. Think about all the people that has passed away or got locked up. Think about those situations and people, and try to figure out a way to change it. Try to change it, because at the end of the day, this generation that we have right now of people and kids, they they don't. I'm sorry to say it, but I don't feel like they possess anything that will be able to change the world in the next um, 10, 5 to 10 years. What's technology? Like we don't, as human beings, we have our mind is so powerful, and is the technology is really running the world right now, and it's people are losing sense of self and environment and everything. So I say that to say to everyone back home and wherever else that you are experiencing hardships, especially where I've lived, Lorraine and Louisville. Um, is crazy. So I say all that to say, I keep saying I say all that to say, but change the way you think, change your outlook and perspective of life. Um, and even if you feel like you haven't succeeded or you haven't done things in your life that can change the world, it's never too late. It's never too late to change the world, because, as you know, and things change at the drop of a dime. Just as much as technology changes, you can change too as a person, especially if you have a mind. This right here, this it, the iPhone didn't look like this. It was so basic and simple and smaller, and now it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And just like this technology keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you can too. I can too. And just pay attention, be aware, build your self awareness, because that's what I'm trying to do. So 25 to me is about to be lit. Um, I thank you, God. I thank my family that God has blessed me with, who inspired me the most. The women in my family are some of the most strongest, powerful, beautiful women that I've ever known. And even if I've never met you, I love you. Mom, I miss you so much. I miss you so much. I know I'm not being, um, I don't know. I could be a better big brother, and that's to all my siblings. I could be a better son, a better nephew, a better friend, and I promise you, 25 people say, I'm a change, blah blah blah, new year, new me. I'm aware, and I'm a change, and I thank you to everyone who has wished me happy birthday. I hope this video posts, because I feel like it's gonna bless some people. It's blessing me just by speaking it. Yeah, happy birthday. Let's turn up. I love y'all.